when we're trying to find the difference between two times, it's the space between it, it's the amount of time between it. So I might want to know how many minutes are there in between 12:35 and 13:05. Now some things like this you might be able to do in your head, others I find it really helpful to use a blank number line. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So if I was to try and work out the difference between these two times, I'm starting at 12:35 and I need to think to myself, what would be an easy time to get to after 12:35? My answer would probably be 1300 or 1 o'clock. That would be the same as that's 1 p.m. And to get between there and there, I need to think about what my jumps would be. Now, I happen to know that I could do one big jump of 25 minutes because I know that 35 is 25 minutes away from o'clock. But if I wanted to break it down a bit smaller, maybe I could do it like this. I could say, okay, well, if I add on 5 minutes like this, it will take me to 12:40. And then to get from 12:40 to 1 o'clock or to 1300, that would be adding on another 20 minutes. You can break it down as much as you want to. I could have jumped from 12:40 to 12:50, and then from 12:50 to 1300. I can do whatever works. But the important thing is that you're doing a jump that you understand and that makes sense for you. So if you can do it in one big jump, great, but it's best to go for smaller, more accurate jumps. Then if I'm at 1300 like this, I need to get to 13:05, and hopefully you can do that in one jump, which is just 5 minutes. If I now add those together, I can see that I've done 5, 20 and 5 minute jumps, and altogether I have added on 30 minutes. That's what I get if I add 5, add 20, add 5. So to get from 12:35 to 13:05 is 30 minutes. Let's look at another example. So if I'm starting at 15:40 and I want to get to 16:17, I'm thinking to myself, right, 15:40, that would be the same as 20 to 4. So if I did a jump of 20 minutes, that's taking me to 1600, which is the same as 4 o'clock. So I've done 20 minutes more, is taking me to 1600. Then I need to get from 1600 to 1617. Now I would do that in one nice, easy, big jump of 17 minutes, and it takes me straight there. There's no reason why you couldn't do, maybe adding on to get to 1610, you could add on 10 minutes and then the 7. You could, but if you can easily see what it is, just do it in one big jump. So I add it together and I see that all together to get my 20 and my 17 is 37 minutes to get from 15:40 to 16:17. One more example. Let's say I'm starting at 21:12, so 12 minutes past 9 in the evening. If I was trying to get all the way to 22:34, I'm going to be thinking about what jumps I could do. Now, if I were to try to jump to the next o'clock, I'm going to have to do quite a few jumps. I could do it. I could think to myself, right, if I'm trying to get to 2200, what am I going to need to do? And I could start at the 12 and I could jump maybe to half past and then again. But actually, with an example like this, where it's over an hour, I can do a nice big jump of 1 hour to get me started. You might be wondering how I know that it's over an hour. Well, I just know that by looking. So 21 and 12 followed by 22:34, well, that's a whole hour later plus a bit more. So if I was to jump that whole hour, so 60 minutes that would be, then my 21:12 is going to become 22:12. And now it won't take too much for me to get to 34. So I think I'm going to jump to 22:20 because I know that if I can do a nice easy addition of 8 minutes, that will get me there. So 22:12 add 8 minutes takes me to 22:20, so 20 past 10. And then I just need to get all the way to the end, which is to 22:34, and between 20 past and 34 minutes past, that's going to be 14 minutes. So if I add those all together, I've got 60, so that was my 1 hour. And then if I add those two together, I get 22 minutes. So from 21:12 to 22:34, I've added on 1 hour and 22 minutes. There you have it.